Well, I was born right here in St. Ignace. You know, I left a few times for work and stuff, but I'm born and raised here. And everybody just calls me Ron. "1942. Yeah, I'm 83 now. Well, growing up wasn't too good for me. I was passed along one family to the next, and then I didn't have any. You know, I ended up getting in a lot of trouble. You know, and so as far as the work went, I wasn't an academic. You know, I couldn't learn nothing. The only reason I think they passed me because I was a good athlete. You know, I was first string on everything. You know, but so I decided I had to find something to do. You know, so I went into masonry and stuff like that. And I commercial fished with the white man here for when I was younger, and then when the Indian fishing rights came through, I went on my own. You know, so I fished for, oh God, over 40 years or more, you know. Yeah, the Indian fishing rights, there wasn't too many people that liked it. The sportsmen weren't sportsmen, they were idiots, you know. They thought they knew everything, you know. So the tribe appointed me to meet with the DNR and anybody else that didn't want, you know, and I would meet with them because I wouldn't take their bullshit, you know. And I studied it and talked to some elders, and he says, we have the very right to fish, you know. So, but that's how I got started anyway, you know. So I was on the lake a lot, you know. No, but my wife wouldn't let me on the lake now, you know. Oh yeah, I'm lucky to be here. I got caught in a lot of bad winds, and I flipped a boat 3 different times, you know. Yeah. Well, what people got a bang out of, I had no money when I went on my own, so I didn't have much of I had a 12-foot boat. I had 2 12-foot boats, and when I'd come in from out here, the game warden said, "What in the hell has he got?" They seen 2 boats, you know. Well, that was simple for me because one for the fish and one for me. You know, yeah. They're small boats. Sometimes I had to go out in the lake 2, 3 times to get my nets cleared, you know. Yeah, but I made good money, you know. Well, at that time, yeah, because everybody's buying, you know, the fisheries. There were 3 fisheries in this town, you know, Nobbinway and Hessel and all over, you know. You didn't have no trouble getting rid of the fish. And at that time, it was the sportsmen weren't too neat on the idea, you know. We had to have guards on our truck, carried a gun on the boat, you know. It got bad, you know. Actually, there's not many doing it now. You know, before there was, but there's not many doing it now. And I was the first one that got an Indian fishing card from the tribe, you know. And me and 2 other guys, you know. And, so it made me a good living. We got a young fellow here that his dad used to fish, his grandfather, and he runs a tug. There's one other with a rowboat fisherman. That's it in town here, you know. Not much of it going on. Well, if they didn't bring their sons on the boat way back when you were fishing, that's what deleted it because there was nobody to take it over. But I enjoyed it. My wife won't even let me on a boat now. If she would, I'd be on that damn lake right now, you know. Oh yeah, I fished. Well, at that time the ice froze good, so we fished year round because we fish on the ice, after it froze up, you know. I was working at the museum downtown here, the Ojibwe Museum, and they wanted to have me do a project. And somebody come up with the idea of making a birch bark canoe, which I had no idea how to do yet, but I knew I could. So I said, yeah, and that's where I got started. At first, well, what are you doing taking the bark off the tree? I said, because I want the goddamn bark, stupid. And then I say, okay, come in, let's go for a ride. So I take them out here where the D and I cut thousands of acres of timber off. I said, are you bitching about that? You know where that goes? That builds people's houses and gives them work. So get your ass in here, And this canoe is still in the museum. They kept it. And when I talk to tourists, they'd say, where'd you find that that canoe there? I said, oh, somebody found it in the woods and they donated it. and then I had one that I made too, that they would have never known. That's what I told them from there on. That was found in the woods, It was terrible, Yeah, that was funny, but they still got it down there. I got to build one next fall, I think, yet, or maybe early spring, yet, for down here, And I charge them so much for being there, and I'm teaching. People are getting there and they're helping us build it. So I get paid for what the canoe's worth and what for teaching, So it makes a good living, There was a family in Bay Mills that I made a canoe for. It was a 22-footer, and they fished with it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're light as a feather in the water, Yeah. I enjoy doing this, Yeah. But keeps me out of trouble, I always say, Years ago, when I was going with my wife, I made her this basket. Gave it to her as a present. We still got it, These are good sellers here. People put them up on their mantles and, Yeah. And I make the one thing I like making the most, and I don't have any on the table here, I like making knives. I used to pound my own steel and make my own blades, but my shoulder's bad now, I can't do it, so I still carve the handles, like I'll put deer horn handle on it, I'll carve an eagle head on it, And, but I don't do much of that anymore. This thing here is a burl on a tree. I just take the chainsaw and cut them off, And that's maple. Getting harder to find the bark now. I'm allowed to collect bark on state and federal property. So I'm going to have to start moving west more, to find it, I'll get some. If it's there, I'll find it. I always bring a bunch of ribbon with me and ribbon myself in and follow them to come back. I'm surprised how you can shift around. I like being with my wife. Kind of don't want to be in there by myself anymore. And there's again, if she stopped worried about that, I'd be doing some bad thinking. But no, she takes good care of me. Well, both really. It. When I was young, it wasn't good to be an Indian. Families didn't treat them right. Because most of their ancestors came from war with the Indians. But after a while, that changed. I met guys that were. They were bad people at that time. I meet them now. Hell, they're nice as hell, And we talk about it too, Yeah. most of them say I'm ashamed of myself how I acted, you know. And he got, because he says, you guys didn't do nothing to me. You know, it was just their parents telling them Indians wasn't good, you know. And don't, for Christ's sakes, don't marry an Indian, you know. No, it come a long way since I was young, you know. And it come to the good, you know. I mean, people didn't think of nothing carrying the guns on their boat because hell, they didn't know how people were going to act, you know. I just tell them, I says, if you come out in the boat and bother me, I'm going to blow your boat water line. That means I'm going to blow the bottom of your damn boat, you know. Water will get in when I get done, you know. Yeah. And they knew damn well I'd do it too, you know. Well, the only reason I had a gun anyway is because they had them, you know. Be pretty stupid not to have one, you know. Because believe me, they think different when you pull it out, you know. Well, let's do what you want to do, you know. This fella here that wrote that one book, that paper right there that's sitting there, move that and look at it. He came here, and then the book above it, and he was writing on the commercial fishing, Indian fishing, and they said, well, you want to learn about that, talk to Ron Paquin. So he got a hold of me. I said, well, I plan on getting my own book written. He said, I'll tell you what, you help me, ask me, I'll help. And he said, I'll help you write it. And he wrote my book for me. All I did is dictate things on tape and talk to him. And he wrote that for me. You know, he's passed away now, but then I keep that book all the time. You know, every once in a while I feel, but it makes me sad when I'm reading it because, you know, I was really good friends with him after a while, you know. We got to get some more printed because people are always asking for them, you know. We went through 2 printings of them, you know. And so that one couple, that one guy died, they were ready to make a damn movie out of it, but it didn't happen because he passed away, you know. Yeah, live and learn, they say. Well, back then it wasn't good. And I was they threw me in Indian homeschool when I was in Harbor Springs when I was young. And I run away from there 15 times, and they didn't want me there no more. You know, and then no, it wasn't good. You know, but then through playing sports and dating, I dated girls in high school. I had no problem getting a date, and it kept me going. You know, in a good mood. You know, yeah, it's a little bit different now. The prejudice is still here. Don't get me wrong. It's here, but it's not out in the open like it used to be. I mean, I'd come in off the lake, and there'd be 35, 40 people on the beach bitching about it, you know. So I'd reach in the boat and get my gun, and they all left, you know. I said, I won't kill you, but I'll cripple your ass up if you cause trouble with me, you know. And they carry guns too, you know, and that, you know. Yeah, a lot different now. I didn't see what they were pissed off about because it was a racial thing because white people were fishing. You know, they didn't care about the fish through them, so what, it was a bad thing, you know. The fish tasted better, you know, if the white man fished it, you know. Well, they weren't taught nothing, see. They were taught that it was wrong for Indians, you know, and they grew up with that. You know, I even had people pissed at me because I only went to high school for 2 years, and I was top scorer in the football and basketball and running track, you know, and I was damn good, you know, And they didn't like that. I met up with one guy after it was over with, and I heard about he was pretty bad on his drinking. And that was his problem when he was in high school. He was a damn good athlete, but he had hangovers all the time, you know. He'd even go to night games half drunk, you know. Yeah, but that wasn't my fault, that was his. But I could see where everything on the racial deal has come a long ways to the good, you know. And I had one marriage, she was part Indian, the rest were non-Indian girls, you know. Molly's non-Indian, you know. So, boy, that wasn't noted for a long time, you know. Yeah, same way with the white guy marrying an Indian girl, you know. But everything's changed a lot to the good. I enjoy life a lot better now than I did, like, say, 50 years ago, you know. Because I was pissed off all the time because I was trying to protect myself, you know, make a living and all that, you know. Yeah, but it's changed a lot, yeah, yeah, to the good, you know. Oh yeah, there are not many Indian families left here, you know. They either went away to work or something. The younger bunch, anyway, you know. But at least you can talk about it now, you know. Because I meet guys and they say, "Hey, I was fishing going wrong," you know, when I was fishing, you know, towards the end. I blame the parents for teaching their damn kids as they're growing up to feel that way. And that's what when I talk to a lot of Indian people later on, they say, "Yeah, my mom and dad said, oh, they're this and they're that." He says, "Ron, you're one of the nicest guys I ever met," you know. But their parents didn't feel that way. They didn't even get to know you, you know. They just said, if you're Indian, you're not good, you know. But that's changed a lot. I ain't saying it went away completely, because it never will. Just like a white girl married a black person. That changed quite a bit too, but not fully, you know. Yeah, people are strange. At that time, most of the time, I thought people are idiots. You know, God, they're terrible people. How could you live with a hatred you didn't even know you had until it come along, you know, from what your parents taught you? Now, I don't look all Indian. I'm part Indian, you know, but they can tell I got some Indian in me, you know. And my twin brother, Christ, he's passed away now, but he was white as a sheet and blonde hair. You know, we didn't even know we belonged to the same family, you know. The one that looked like me was my older brother. Him and I looked alike. This changed to the good, and that's good, you know. People can't go on with their lives hating people. My grandmother, on my mother's side, if you looked at her, you knew damn well she was Indian. But she never admitted it. The kids come out there were taught, no, we don't have no Indian in it. Come on, you know. I mean, that's how bad it got, you know. And I come right out to her one time. I says, "I want you to be honest with me. What tribe do we belong to?" You know. I said, "Now be honest with me." She said, "I will if you don't spread it around." He showed me Chippewa, you know, and we got a little bit of Algonquin in us, you know. And I was surprised she even told me, you know. But other than that, she didn't. She looked Indian and everything, but she wouldn't admit she was. Yeah, because there's only, out of my family of 8, The only ones alive, and I haven't seen them in 5, 6 years, is my youngest brother, Leonard. Everybody else is gone. In this canoe building here, one guy is my son. He passed away at a young age, and he caused it. He drank, and terrible. And he always asked me, what should I do? And I says, well, you asked me 150 times now, do what I said. If you don't do it, why ask about it, Yeah. I did that for drinking myself. I says, this is it for me. I mean, at the time, when I started to quit drinking there, I had spent a third of my life locked up. I was in prison twice, reform school twice. I like to cover them twice, jail several times, But and I figured it out. All this was caused by me drinking, and it was, Yeah. Well, there's times I shouldn't have went, because at that time, if you were an Indian, you got locked up. If you were right or wrong, and I wasn't wrong all the time. I'll give you an example. This is terrible. I was talking to a guy. I was on parole. He was just complete asshole. And I tapped him on the shoulder. He went and turned me into the police for hitting him. I tried to convince him. I said, I tapped him on the shoulder. I spent another year in prison because of that, for parole violation, So when I got out, I run into him again. I says, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to get the hell out of my face, you goddamn hypocrite. And I walked away, And I turned around and I said, don't you ever talk to me again, you asshole, I mean, I went to jail, in prison, for tapping a guy on the shoulder. He put like that on the shoulder, Yeah, he said I hit him. He didn't say how, He said. And I told the parole board, I said, why do you always think because we were in jail, that in prison, we were wrong? Nobody ever asked me what the hell happened. Their faces got red and everything. I said, I tapped the guy on the shoulder, for Christ's sakes. Here I am sitting to you guys. You decided if I should get let loose or not. Their faces get all red, I said, Jesus. I even had 2 of them out of the board come out and apologize to me, I mean, when I left the room, And that I gave them a lot of credit for it. If I hit him, he would have known it after he woke up, He would have damn well known it. I had 100 fights in prison and never lost one. Then these people come out of Detroit and wanted me to get on the squad for professional boxing. But I had to report that to the pro board and they wouldn't let me go. No, come on, And I found out 2 guys I would have had to go through as guys I whipped in prison, so I wasn't worried about them, But no. Why would they stop you just because it was boxing, Here's why not much of that happened. Because, like I said, the Indians weren't liked no matter if they're angels, for Christ's sakes. So after a while, the parents didn't teach them that they even had it in them, And that to me was a shame, But they never talked about their heritage back then, Yeah, they always tried to say they wasn't, And I could see why, I couldn't see why they actually didn't teach their kids. Well, some people can't lie out of it. They damn sure look Indian. Now, we had full-blooded several families in St. Ignace here. And I was friends with most of them. Yeah, they got along good, that I can remember. I can never remember them complaining, Yeah, but some towns and some people teach better things than others, you know. They like to hang on to the old way, you know. Right now you wouldn't even know there's prejudice of any kind here, you know. And I think that's a good thing. Well, the one thing is to teach it, you know. Now, teaching the language is kind of hard because you get practically got to be a academic to learn it, you know. And I know some words. I used to know a lot more. But if you're not talking it all the time, you forget it, you know. If they don't want their kids to have a bunch of problems because of the idiots in this world, they don't teach them. And I don't know how much that goes on, you know, but I know it goes on. No, I think you should be proud of it because you can't go on life being scared to admit what the hell you are if it's good, you know. I'm not a religious person, but I am in this way. My religion is being a decent person, hard worker. If I got a family, got a wife, take care of them, that's my religion. And right now my religion is just being a decent guy, you know. And that is the religion, because I knew so many people. I was in the Catholic Church that, ignorant, like this, and then they're shitting on somebody before they get out of church, you know. You got, they're bad, you know. It's called being a hypocrite, you know. And at that time, if they weren't a good Catholic, they were being a jerk for the rest of the time, you know, till they go to church again, you know. That's not being a religious person, you know. They think, most people in the world think that the only smart people there is the ones that were straight A's and B's in school. No, that had nothing to do with nothing, you know. Some of the most ignorant people I met were straight A's. There's more to teach than 2 and 2 is 4. There's so many common things that happen with people if they grab it and practice it. You know how good this world will be? And, you know, in every aspect, you know, like worker, you know, getting along and, you know, but, no, I had a lot of talks with myself. As you can't only talk about straightening your stupid ass up, you got to do it, you know, and by God, I did it, you know, and the other thing, I think, if you're wrong, and it might hurt somebody, or that, admit it. And if you caused the hurt, try to fix it. The real thing about being a person is you got to learn as you go. If a good thing, listen to it. Bad thing, get out of there. You know, and because there'll always be bad, you know, and. No, I learned a lot being on my own, you know, all my life, you know, most of my life, you know. Because when I was in that Indian homeschool, I was only 9. I'm too damn old to live bad, you know. I don't know how many years I got, but I had 2 grandparents that lived, one to be 100 and one to be 105, you know. That's a long time, you know. Back then, especially, you know. One grandfather and grandmother was on my mother's side. They got burned up in a fire, and they were both in their 80s. So God only knows how long they'd have lived otherwise, you know, because they were healthy as hell, you know. And I don't think they would have died if I'd have been home, because I would have went in there and got them, you know. But I wasn't home. And the other good thing I like to teach, if you make a mistake, admit it. And the second thing, try to correct it. You know, hell, you'll be surprised how good things go after that, you know. Yeah.